What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom offer generator by creating a simple workflow in Anyten. Let's get started. In Anyten, I've created a workflow that I've renamed to custom offer generator. Here, we're going to add a trigger. Our trigger is going to be an on-form submission trigger. So I'll click on an on-form submission right here. In this node, we're going to add our form title, form description, and form elements right here. The title of our form could be in the lines of get your tailored project offers in minutes, and the form description could be in the lines of tell us a bit about your project, goals, and budget, and we'll generate a custom proposal with clear package options, timeline, and pricing all tailored to your needs. And here we're adding various form elements that our prospects are going to fill out so we can generate a custom offer for them right here. So the first form element, we're collecting the full name. So the full name is on the lines of what is your full name, and the element type is text, and this field is going to be required right here. You can add a placeholder over here. The second field name is on the lines of what's your email address. Element type, we're going to choose email. This field will also be required. The third field name is on the lines of what's your company name. Element type, we're going to choose text. You can also add a placeholder right here, and also this field will be required. The other field name is on the lines of what type of project are you looking for. Element type is going to be a drop-down list where we are adding various options like landing page, email flow, automation, photography, branding, or other. So here we're adding the service that you're offering. The other field name is on the lines of what's your main goals, and here we're adding a drop-down list as the element type and adding various options like increase conversions, reduce manual work. The last option is build brand awareness. The other field name is on the lines of what's your estimated budget range, and here for the element type we're adding a drop-down list, and here we're adding less than $1,000. The other option is $1,000 to $3,000. The other option is $3,000 to $5,000. The last option is above $5,000. The other field name is on the lines of what's your ideal timeline, and the element type here we're choosing a drop-down list and now adding various options for here. So the first option is ASAP. The other option is 2 to 4 weeks. The third option is 1 to 2 months. The last option is flexible. The other field name that we're adding right here is on the lines of have you worked with a freelancer or agency before. For the element type, we're choosing a drop-down list and adding the yes or no options over here. The other field name is on the lines of do you prefer ongoing support or one-time delivery. The element type, we're choosing drop-down list and adding these options right here, the retainer or project-based options. The last field name is on the lines of how did you hear about us, and here the element type, we're choosing a drop-down list and adding these various options right here. Options are referrals, Google search, social, event, or other. So here I'll click on execute to fill out our form and capture a prospect's data. So this is our form that we're going to fill in as the prospect. So we can generate a custom offer for this prospect. So the first thing that we're going to add over here is our name. I'm going to add my name right here and my email address. Company name, I'm going to choose Lux. Automation is my company name. Type of project, I would like to create a landing page. Main goal, I'm going to choose to increase conversions. Estimated budget, you can say 3 to 5K. Ideal timeline, let's choose ASAP. As I've worked with an agency, I would like a retainer. And I heard about you via a Google search. So here I'll click on submit our form. You can see our form was submitted. Now in our form, you can see we captured our data that we just filled in our form. Here we captured the full name, email address, company name, type of project, main goals, estimated budget, ideal timeline, if they've worked with an agency or a freelancer before, if they'll prefer an ongoing support or a one-time delivery, how they heard about us, and date and time they submitted the form. So here I'll click on back to canvas, and then I'll pin this data that we just fill in our form and use this data to set up the rest of our workflow right here. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to set variables to all the fields that we just filled in our form. So here I'll search for the set node right here and click on the edit fields over here. Now here I'll drag the first field, or this field we're going to name it as a name, and here I'm going to drag the second one. This field is going to be named as email, and I'm going to drag the third one. I'm going to name this company name, and I'm going to drag the fourth one. I'm going to name this project type. Then I'm going to name it as goals. Then I'm going to drag this other one right here, name this one to budget. And then I'm going to drag the timeline right here. I'm going to name it to timeline. Then I'm going to drag if they've worked with a freelancer or an agency before, and I'm going to name this to agency experience. And then I'm going to drag right here, this one right here, and then I'm going to name this field to project scope right here. Then I'm going to drag this last field right here. I'm going to rename this to lead source. And then here I'll click on execute tab to set the fields. So we just set the fields that we just fill in our form right here using this node. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to check if our prospect filled in their email address and their project type. So to do that, I'll use an if else node right here. So for the email, it should exist. So, and I'll add another condition that the project type should also exist for us to generate for them a custom offer. Then here I click on execute. You can see our node was executed successfully in the true branch over here. So if false, we like to do nothing. So I'll search for the do nothing node right here. And then click on back to canvas. Then if they're filling all the fields in our form, we're going to proceed to add them to a database. In our case, we're going to use Airtable as our database. Now, in Airtable, I've created a database that I've renamed to offer generator leads. In this database, I've created a table that I've renamed custom offers table. And here I have added these columns in our table. So I've added the name column, email address, company name, project type, goal, budget, timeline, agency experience, project scope, lead source, and custom offer document URL over here as the columns in our database, in our table right here. So now to add our leads data to do this database, I'll search for Airtable. Then I'll click on Airtable. Then here I'll create a record. And then you'll need to create a credential by clicking on create a new credential right here. Then from Airtable, add your access token over here. To get your access token, go to Airtable, then click on your profile, then click on build a hub over here. And here we're going to create our personal access token right here, give it a name, and here we're going to add the scopes. You can add all these different scopes right here. And come and remove the ones that you don't need later on. But for now, I'm going to just add all of them. And then here for access, I'm going to click on add base, and here choose your workspace, then click on all current and future bases over here. Then here click on create after you've given your token a name, and then on the new window that pops up, you'll find your API token, which you'll copy and then come and paste right here and click on save to create your credential. Then after you've created your credential, here I'm going to choose your base. Our base is the offer generator leads base. Our table is offer custom offers table. And here we're going to map values to our columns in our database with the data we set in our edit fields node after our prospect filled out our form. So for the name, I'm going to map the name right here. Same with the email, company name, project type, goals, budget, timeline, agency experience, project scope, and lead source. So for the custom offer document, we're going to update this record later on down the line after we've generated the document. But for now, I'll click on execute step to add our leads data to our database. Now, when you open our database, you can see we added our record right here. So we added our prospects name, email address, company name, project type, goal, budget, timeline, agency experience, project scope, and lead source. For the custom of our document URL, we're going to add later on. The next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to generate a custom offer for this prospect. So here, we're going to use an AI agent to generate a custom offer for this lead. So in AI, I'm going to click on AI agent. Here, I'm going to define below and add a prompt over here. The prompt could be in the lines of you're an offer architect AI agent. Then here I'll add the system message. So to add the system message, I'll click on expression. Then here I want to clear this and add the system message. So the system message could be in the lines of your task is to generate structured project proposals based on a client's request. Here we're outlining a couple of rules for the AI to follow. We're telling the agent return only valid JSON, no explanations, no commentary, no extra text. And here we're also outlining some guidelines the agent will use. We're telling the agent deliverables and scope must match the client's goals, budget, industry, and must-haves. Also telling the agent keep the proposals implementation ready, no marketing fluff. And then here we are adding the client's data like their name, email address, company name, project type, goal, budget, timeline, agency experience, project scope, and lead source. So here, I'm going to click on back to canvas over here. Here we're going to add a chat model. I'm going to use OpenAI chat model over here. Like we did with other nodes, you'll also need to create a credential here to connect your OpenAI to Anytime. Just click on create a new credential, and over here, add your API key from your OpenAI API to create your credential. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this, and here I'm going to choose a model. I'm going to choose GPT 4.1 mini as our model right here. Now, the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add a memory. The memory, I'm going to choose a simple memory, and here I'm going to choose to define below, and here we're going to add a submitted add date. So I'll drag it right here. Then I'll click on back to canvas over here, so we can choose to add this at the top over here, organize them properly. Here, when I open this node, here we're going to require a specific output format, and then I'll click on output parser. Then here I'm going to click on the structured output parser and add our JSON example right here. So we'd like to output the project summary, the different packages with the name, description, and the price range, assumptions, risk, and the pricing input of this prospect. So to do that here, I'll click on back to canvas over here. Okay, so add these at the top over here to make it a little bit organized over here. Then here, I'll open this node. Then I'll click on execute step to generate our custom offer for a prospect. You can see that our node was executed successfully. So now based on their submission, we generated these project summary for our prospect. We also generated the different packages over here. So we have the basic conversion landing page, advanced optimization package, and the full retainer with analytics and iterative improvements package, also including assumptions and risk. And for the different packages, we're including the description of each package and the price range of each package. Then here we're including assumptions and some risks. And then below we're adding the price input of this client that they added in our form over here. So here, agent works perfectly. So I'll rename this to custom offer generator. Then here I'll click on rename. Now the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to generate a summary of our custom offer that we generated using this node right here, using OpenAI. In AI, I'm going to click on OpenAI, and here I'll click on message a model. Here you're going to choose here I'm going to choose my credential. For the model, I'm going to choose, you can choose the latest model right here. The latest model that we're using currently is GPT-5. I'm going to choose GPT-4 since it's quite fast. And then here we're going to add a prompt for the system prompt over here. And here I'll click on expression, expand it to add our prompt. Now, the prompt could be on the lines of you're given a structured project proposal in JSON, convert it into a personalized professional markdown proposal written to the client. And for the tone and style, we'd like to use a warm, professional, and client-focused tone. We'd like to make it sound like we are presenting options and guidance directly to them. We like AI to use you and your project instead of neutral or that person language. We also like to keep the formatting clean with clear headings and bullet points. For the content rules, here I would like to include a project summary, package options with names, deliverables, pricing, and positioning, assumptions, risk, and next steps. We also like to summarize the pricing clearly, tying it back to the client's stated budget. We also like to make the next steps feel like a natural invitation to move forward, and we like not to include raw JSON or code, adding our project summary that we generated from our custom offer generator node. So we're adding the project summary, the different packages right here with the name, description, and price range of each package. We're also adding the assumptions, the risk, and the price inputs over here. So here I'll click on back to canvas, and then here I'll click on execute step to generate our custom offer summary so we can send it to our prospect. You can see it's executing our node. Let's give it a second. Here you can see that our node was executed successfully, and it generated for us this summary over here. So this is a custom offer that we generated for a prospect. It's really personalized to this prospect depending on what they filled in our form over here. So now to preview these summary that we just generated over here, we can add it to a Google Docs file. So here I rename this to custom offer summary. Then here I'll click on rename, and then now we can proceed to, let's say we can wait a few seconds to add the custom offer summary to our Google Docs. So we can wait, let's say 3 seconds. Yeah, I'll rename this to wait 3 seconds. Then here I'll click on rename. Here I'll execute step to get our custom offer. Now the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to add it to a Google Docs. So I'll search for Google Docs, and here I'm going to start by creating a document. Here you'll also need to create a credential like we did previously with other nodes by adding your client ID and client secret from Google API. And then you'll also need to choose the account that you like to connect to anytime. And then after choosing your account, your credential will be created. Since I had already done that, I'm going to close this right here. And here I'm going to choose a folder name. I'm going to choose on my folder in my Google Drive. And then the title of this document will be custom offer for. And here you can choose to choose the expression right here. And then here we're going to add the company name over here. So it'll be custom offer for Lax automation. And then here click on execute step to create the document. You can see we created our document. Then here, so here I'll rename this to create a custom offer document. And the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to update this document with the custom offer that we summarized using our node right here. So here I'll click on update the document node. Here we're going to add this ID of our document right here. And then here where it says text, we're going to add our custom offer summary over here. Now here I'll click on execute step to add our custom offer to our document. You can see we successfully added it to our document right here. So here I'll rename this to update custom offer document. Then here I'll click on rename, and then I'll save this node over here. Now the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to send this custom offer to our prospect that filled in our form over here. Since they added the email address over here, we're going to send the custom offer via the email. So here I'll search for Gmail, then click on Gmail, then here I'll click on the send a message node. Here we're going to add the email address from our form submission right here. So we're going to map this value over here. Subject line of this email could be in the lines of project proposal for, and then we're adding the company name. Email type, I'm going to choose text, and here I'm going to click on expression, expand it right here to add a message or email body. Body of our email could be in the lines of hi name. Thank you again for sharing details about your project. I'll put together a tailored proposal for your company based on your goals, budget, and timeline. You can review the full document over here, and here we're adding this link to our document, and then including the unique ID, which is this unique ID of our document over here. The proposal includes a clear project summary, the repackage options with deliverables, pricing and timeline, assumptions, risk, and next step for moving forward. Once you've had a chance to review, I'd be happy to schedule a quick call to walk through the options and answer any questions. Looking forward to your feedback. Best regards, Brandon. So here, I'll click on back to converse over here. Then here, I'll add options, and then in append anytime attribution, I'm going to turn it to off. And then here, I'm going to click on execute step to send this email to our prospect. Here I rename this to send custom offer, and then here I'll click on rename. Now after sending the email to prospect, we can also notify our team via email also. So I'll search for Gmail and click on Gmail over here, and then here I'll click on send a message node. Here we're going to add an email address of our team members. And then here you can add the subject line and the email body of our email. Subject line of this email could be on the lines of proposal draft ready for, and then we're in the company name. Email type, I'm going to choose text, and here we're going to add the body of our email. So I'll click on expression, expand it right here to add our email body. Body of our email could be on the lines of hi team. The proposal for, here we are in the company name, has been drafted and is ready for internal review. You can access the document over here. So I'll copy this link. Use this link to update our record in your table. So the rest of the emails on the lines of some key highlights include project scope tailored around conversion optimized landing page, the repackage options with clear deliverables and pricing, define assumptions, risk, and next step for the client, for action items retailing the team. Please review the doc and share any edits or feedback. Since we already designed the document, we don't need to add this statement over here. So here, I'll click on back to Canvas, like we do with the notes here. You also need to turn this notification to off. And then here, I'll click on execute save to send the document to our team. So here, I'll rename this to team notification. I rename this to team notification, then click on rename. And the last thing that we're going to do here is we're going to now update our record with our custom offer document ID. So to do that, here I'm going to search for Airtable. Click on Airtable. Here I'm going to now click update a record node. Here I'm going to choose our base, which is our base over here. And here I'm going to choose our table, which is a custom offers table. Here I'm going to add our ID. So in our table right here, I'm going to map the ID over here. And then the column that I would like to update is this column over here. So I'll click on expression right here. And then I'll place the link that we copied earlier over here. So here we're going to map the ID of our document over here. And then here I'll click on execute step to update our record with the document ID over here. So here I'll click on back to Canvas. Now in our record, you can see we added our document URL over here. So we can try opening it. Our document, you can see the custom offer that we generated for prospect. I filled out our form over here. So here we are adding the project summary over here. Also adding some package options like the basic conversion landing page over here, advanced optimization package, and the full retainer with analytics and iterative improvements package right here. Also including some assumptions over here, project risk, and the next steps over here. So this is incredible. So this is a custom offer that we generated and that we are sending to our prospect via email. Workflow works perfectly. Here, a prospect is submitting details via a form, then we're adding variables to their details, and if they've submitted their email and project type, we're adding them to a database that we've created in Airtable. Then using our custom offer generator AI agent, we are generating a custom offer for them, depending on what they submitted via our form. Then here we're generating a custom offer summary using this node. Then we're waiting a few seconds and creating a custom offer document. Then we are updating the document with the custom offer summary that we generated using this node. Then we are sending the custom offer to our prospect using Gmail. Then also notifying the team of the prospect and the custom offer. Then we are updating the record of this prospect right here with the custom offer that we generated for them right here. We can test our workflow to see how it works. To test it, here, I'll unpin this data in our form. And then here, I'll execute the workflow and fill out our form with the prospect's data. Now here, we're going to add a full name. For example, we can add Ben, we can add the email address right here. Company name, can add the company name as type of project, can say they're interested in branding. Type of project can choose photography. Main goals can say build brand awareness. Estimated budget can say 5K plus. Ideal timeline can say ASAP, as they've worked with an agency before. Yes, here we're going to choose the retainer, and here we can say referrals, and then I'll click on submit. You can see our form was submitted right here. Here you can see that our workflow was executed successfully. Now, when I open this node, you can see we captured our prospects information right here. We captured the name, email address, company name, project type, goals, estimated budget range, ideal timeline, if they've worked with a freelancer or agency before, if they prefer an ongoing support or a one-time delivery, how they heard about us, and the date our form was submitted. Then we are adding variables to our prospect submission. If they've added the email address and the project type, we're creating a record and adding them to our database in the Airtable. Then using our custom offer generator AI agent, we are generating a custom offer for the prospect over here. So you can see here we generated the project summary. Then here you can see we also generated 3 packages for prospect. Here we are outlining the packages with the name, description, and the price range over here. So the first package is called Essential Visual Brand Package. The second package is called Comprehensive Brand Photography Retainer, and the last package is called Premium Brand Awareness Package right here. And then here we're also including assumptions and risks and the price input over here. So after we generated the custom offer for prospect, we are generating the custom offer summary using this node over here. And here's a custom offer summary that we generated from our AI agent over here. Then we're waiting a few seconds and then creating a custom offer document in Google Docs. Then we're updating the document with the custom offer summary that we generated using this node over here. And then we're sending the custom offer to a prospect via email. We're also notifying our team of the prospect and the custom offer that we generated for them via email. And then we're updating the record that we created for the prospect right here with this document, with this custom offer document that we created and updated in Google Docs over here. So now I open our database in your table. You can see we created a new record here of a new prospect. Here's your name, email address, company name, project type, goal, budget, timeline, if they have an agency experience, their project scope, and their lead source, and the custom offer document URL over here that we sent to a prospect. So now here, when I open this document, and you can see the custom offer that we generated using our workflow over here. So here we first of all added this welcome message over here. We're telling the prospect we're excited to present you with a structured proposal to ramp up and refine your visual identity with high quality brand focused photography. Understanding your urgent requests, we've outlined tailored photography retainers packages, keeping in line with your budget of $5,000 and up. Here are the details, and then here we're including the project summary and the package options over here. This is the first package, and this is the second package, and the third package over here. We're also including assumptions and the risks over here. And then we're concluding by adding the pricing summary and the next steps over here, where we are telling them we're here to help and we're eager to begin this exciting journey with you. So this is an incredible custom offer that we generated using our workflow over here. In our email inbox, here's the email that we are sending to the prospects after we generated the custom offer document. So the email is to Ben. We're telling him, thank you again for sharing your details about your project. I've put together a tailored proposal for a Plan Digital Agency based on your goals, budget, and timeline. And here we're adding the link to the document, which is this custom offer document over here that we generated using our workflow. And then here we're telling the prospect that the proposal includes a clear project summary, 3 package options with deliverables, pricing and timelines, and assumptions, risks, and next steps for moving forward. And we're adding this conclusion over here. So this is the subject line and the body of the email that we're sending to the prospect with our document attached. We're also sending our team a team notification email over here with the subject line and this email body over here. We're telling our team, hi team, the proposal for Plan Digital Agency has been drafted and is ready for review. You can access the document right here. And here we are adding some key highlights and action items over here. So we are sending the 2 items to our prospect and our team using this workflow over here. Then we're updating the record in Airtable with the custom offer document URL over here. Generating this custom offer document and sending the emails and adding the custom offer document to our record here in Airtable using the simple workflow that we created right here in N8N. Now, if you'd like me to create this workflow for you, just click the first link in the description to schedule a call with me. On the call, we'll discuss the workflow that you'd like to set up for your business. Then I'll go ahead and create this workflow for you. But if you enjoyed the video and you have a workflow or an AI agent that you'd like for me to create using N8N, just comment down below in the comment section. I read all the comments, and if I land on your comment and I find it intriguing, I'll come back on a future video showing you how to create the entire workflow or AI agent from scratch using N8N. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.